Hello, everyone, and welcome to our Vampire the Masquerade 5th edition all Hecata Chronicle, Berlin Bloodlines. This is episode 6, Verschlimmbessern, which is a German word meaning making something worse by trying to make it better. And I'm sure that is by no means a warning from the Storyteller. So let's meet our vampires, starting with Az.
Well, that's right. We're missing our favorite cousin. Hi, I'm Az, or as I was on the social media, because I think I'm funny. And today I will be playing Adelaide Nagaraja, the delicious, devious villain arc, Kindred.
Luna?
Hi, I'm Luna, or druidbynight. You can find me at druidbynight on all the things, including Twitch and Patreon. And tonight I will be playing Imogen Lamia.
Rachel?
Hi, I'm Rachel, otherwise known as Azure. I am playing Maria Russellini, the Mistress of Ghosts.
And last but not least, Ramos.
Hello, everyone. I am Gilbert Ramos. I am found everyone on the internet at RamostheNomad, and tonight I will be playing Dr. Tullio Giovanni.
Doctor, indeed. And as always, I'm Huddy, your storyteller this evening. That's who I am. Anyway, as always, this is a Vampire the Masquerade 5th edition actual play. We've gone over our safety and consent, but please check in with yourselves, as your well-being is important to all of us who are playing. All the content warnings for this game will be in the description below. So if you all are ready, lass uns anfangen. Rachel, what does that mean?
Let us begin.
Very good. And let's return to Berlin the next night, after the coterie attempted to spend some time with their significant others, but as is so often the case, there is never any real rest for the wicked. We begin our scene, as we so often have, inside of Edgar's penthouse apartment, where Adelaide, Bella, Tullio, and Imogen spent their day sleep after Adelaide reached out to her coterie for aid after a devastating attack by the quote-unquote Baron of Berlin, AzureButterfly. And Adelaide wasn't the only one. Earlier in the night, Tullio and Imogen had a run-in with Sahira as well as their cousin Ambrose Milliner, slaughtering mortals and raising them from the dead, working in tandem, as it were. Maria, you also had an interesting night, not in the same way as your cousins, of course, and as you arrive on this scene, I need everyone here to restore their willpower, which since we're on the next night, how that actually works, normally we have a few nights pass, so I let you restore it fully, but how willpower restoration actually works is you take either your dots in composure or your dots in resolve, whichever is higher, and that's how many dots you can restore. I also need everybody's rouse checks.
Let's make this number the third time I succeed. Come on.
It's a failure.
Yeah,
nope,
that
that's a
puts
failure.
you at 3 hunger, and for the first time in this chronicle, Imogen, you hear, because I don't believe you've gotten so hungry that we've gotten a chance to do this. So you hear the voice of your sire, of your beast, which is of course Ariana. And she says, "Ich hab Hunger, Schwesterlein. I need to eat, I'm hungry. Please, I'm so hungry. Ich bin so hungrig, Schwesterlein, please." How about everyone else?
I'm at 2 hunger now.
Okay, and Maria, you're at 3 hunger. So of course, in addition to hearing your beast, you also have a fun thing that happens to you where you start withering and getting all corpse-like in your appearance. So you're going to show up to Edgar's place looking awful corpse-like.
Hi, I'm hungry.
You're going to show up and say, yeah, feed me. And what about you, Tullio?
Failure.
So you're at 1 hunger. So that's being free of that little hunger pain is no more. It didn't even last 24 hours. That is super unfortunate. But as I said, Maria, you arrive on the scene and you're hungry. And Maria looks very corpse-like. But of course, you know Edgar has blood here. But I'd like for Adelaide to describe for everyone here what they see when Maria arrives.
When Maria arrives, Adelaide's clothes are covered in dirt and bits of bone. Her entire body looks a little concave. And when she gets up to walk to the door, you can hear the sounds of her bones crunching and snapping.
I would imagine either Tullio or Imogen would have answered the door for you. I imagine they wouldn't have made you get up to answer the door in the state that you're in.
Yeah, absolutely.
Maria, this is quite possibly for everyone here, since you are still fairly young Kindred, who have never been in real quote-unquote battle. This might be the most injured you've ever seen, not just Adelaide, but maybe any vampire.
Hi, I'm hungry. Adelaide, what the hell happened?
It is a long story, Maria. We all need to have a conversation.
Yeah.
Could you get the blood out of the fridge? And if there's any of the packages that Aelin left of the meat, please.
Yeah, sure. I'll go get it right now. And Maria's like looking at Adelaide very concerned.
Unfortunately, there is only 2 bottles of blood. I rolled terrible. 2 bottles of blood in there, and no meat.
I see the blood, but Adelaide, I don't see any of the other stuff.
Thank you for looking.
She's gonna take both bottles and bring them with her.
You're going to let Adelaide have both bottles. Adelaide takes half from bagged.
Yeah, no, Adelaide will let the rest of the coterie have it.
Only Maria would be able to drink it, really, because Imogen also only takes half from bagged.
Wow, picky eaters.
So, Maria, you can actually down both of these bottles of blood and remove yourself to 1 hunger.
Yeah, I'm gonna do that, unless, Tullio, you need some.
He doesn't. Okay. Bella hasn't left your side, Adelaide. It looks like she stayed up all night to make sure no one disturbed any of you. And you see some strewn about cans of energy drinks. And even now, she's out in the living room with everyone. And she's sitting next to you and she says, Mama, you need to heal more. Can you heal more?
After I eat,
And she immediately reaches over into underneath the table next to the couch and pulls. You hear a tape remove. You know Edgar keeps weapons strewn around his house. And she has the knife and she cuts into her wrist. And she holds it out to you without hesitation.
Like there's that instant try to jump up and just the crackle and crunch that shifts through Adelaide's body.
And she takes off the necklace so it won't hurt you.
And Adelaide will reach out for the necklace and for her arm and make sure her teeth don't touch Bella and take 2. Nope, 1. I'm at 2 hungry, so just take 1.
Okay, just take 1.
Yeah. And then...
Tullio, could you get the first aid kit out of Edgar's bathroom? Please.
Of course.
Imogen, would you like to ask Bella for some blood?
Oh, I would, but I would feel kind of bad about it. Yeah, no, I'm good. I saw the look.
Are you sure?
How hungry does Imogen look?
She's at 3. She looks peckish.
She looks hungry.
And a show of trust that she's not real feeling right now. Adelaide will look at Imogen and look at Bella.
Would it be alright?
Of course, Mama. Anything to help you and the family.
Please be careful.
Of course. I will take 1.
So you may remove yourself to 2 hunger. You taste, of course, not just Bella's blood. It tastes very good. A little familiar, you might say. Maybe it's just because she's the ghoul of Hecata. But also you taste the blood of the Nagaraja, which is a very interesting bloodline. It's spicy, dangerous, secretive, all these weird feelings you get when you drink it.
Thank you. I look to both Bella and Adelaide.
Bella takes the first aid kit that you brought, and she says, thank you. I would prefer to do it in the bathroom, not in front of everyone. I'll be in the bathroom, okay?
Okay.
Please heal your leg, Mama, please.
Of course. Anything for you.
And then I'm gonna wait till she is in the bathroom in Edgar's room, which is soundproof, so she doesn't have to hear the atrocity that is about to occur.
Please remind me, you are at 2 aggravated?
2 aggravated.
And how is your superficial looking?
Superficial, we healed in
You
the
healed
car, remember?
all the
It was a
so you're just
miracle.
at 2 ag. Okay.
There was a miracle of the dice, and I'm using
Maria's
Baby
just-
Socks again.
Sipping the blood bottle, watching this happen, like with concern and interest.
And what was that roll?
I'm at 3 hunger.
Okay. You're still going to be at 1 ag, but everyone present in this room hears the sick, wet, slick sound of Adelaide's bones popping back into place, the tendons and the sinew of her legs knitting back together. She's still not completely healed. She's going to walk with a limp, but it is very loud, very painful. But effective.
Oh, that was something. How are you feeling? How did that even
Terrible. Sorry, Maria. I didn't mean to snap at you.
Now, all of this is said in that neutral tone. Just like, terrible.
happen? Maria kind of just looks at Imogen and Tullio there for a second. She's like, "It's okay."
Sahira and Ambrose Milliner led an attack at the palace last night. I was there. What
must-
happened to you?
Look to Tullio. That must have been after the club.
Sahira came to us. Well, we stumbled upon her as she was gathering forces, it seems.
Oh, shit. Sounds like y'all had an interesting night.
Ambrose brought the hordes. It's a huge breach.
Yes, speaking of breach, all of you who possess phones can check your phones and see that there are news articles popping up all over local Berlin social media and local news places talking about unusual sightings of quote-unquote walking corpses at Charlottenburg Palace and suspicious activity at Club de Visionnaire, both places where Sahira attacked, performed violence, and this is extremely dangerous. This is hitting the actual media. Reading between the lines, you can see someone is attempting to cover it up, most likely those within the Camarilla, as that is tends to be their job, but more dangerously, it could be the Second Inquisition attempting to cover it up, so that they may perform their own investigative reports. Everyone can roll me a very quick wits and insight. See if you notice anything else.
And this is when we remember that you love us dearly.
No. It's not wits awareness. What's an insight?
Thank God it's not what's awareness.
Mm-hmm.
Three successes.
Good.
2.
It's 3 successes.
Mm-hmm. What about you, sir?
Sorry, 4.
Okay, so the only person who notices anything else in this string of news articles that is on your feed is something about Wait Enterprises. It doesn't pop out as anything alarming, but you do see that Wait Enterprises is venturing into cybernetics in something called Gilgal Industries. Edgar never mentioned anything, but that's not entirely unusual. Edgar doesn't talk about his businesses very often with the rest of you, or anything for that matter. But you think... You read the report, or you read the article, and it's a multi-million-dollar investment. You think he might have mentioned it at one point. And he's not mentioned in the article anywhere at all. Instead, who's mentioned is the current acting CCO of Wait Enterprises, a woman named Ebru Aiden. It's just something you notice.
I would bring it up to my companions that Edgar has been a busy lad.
I've been
Seems so.
trying. Go ahead, Maria.
I was just gonna say, Imogen, it reminds me of that conversation that we had in the park with, the werewolves.
Excuse me?
Yeah, apparently Edgar's company is on their list.
Their shit list.
Yep.
The werewolves.
Yeah, we went on a really nice little stroll through the park and kind of met a couple of them. Yeah, or they found us.
Kind of met?
To quote Strider, he said that if you knew a leech named Edgar Waite, that he has a target on his company. More than that, they didn't elaborate.
How long ago was this?
This was just the other night.
Night before date night.
When you texted saying we needed to talk?
Yes.
Maybe in the future we call and have an immediate meeting when fucking werewolves get involved. We already went underground once because of the Second Inquisition. Now, more than ever, it's important that we get ahead of these things.
Yeah.
You agree?
Yeah.
Adelaide and I have developed a system so that we can contact one another and discreetly, so that it's doesn't alert anything that might be looking at our phones. System of just the pictographs, the emojis that come on phones now.
Well, rather than being on Edgar being on their shit list, it more seems he's on someone's shit list. Maybe not theirs. But they also asked about the Shadow Bane.
Specifically, they asked if we knew anything about it, what we knew about it.
They mentioned it by name.
Yes.
Directly.
Wonderful.
They said they want to destroy it.
Yeah.
Do you know what it is? Do they know what it is?
They didn't seem to. They didn't seem to know its location. They thought we might.
So they knew the name, not what the object was? Or...
Believe so.
But they want it gone.
Yes.
Yeah. So it seems like we at least have something in common there.
So question for the ST, because I'm not sure Adelaide's had any dealings with werewolves.
I don't think any of you have.
What would we know about them?
Well, who wants to make me an intelligence and occult roll?
I'll do
I
it.
can't guarantee that you're going to roll high enough to know anything, because that, in the same way that you wouldn't know dick about mages, you definitely won't know anything about werewolves. Besides that, I'll run away when you see one.
I think. Well, we'll see if Alexander said anything, because that's where Adelaide got most of her knowledge from.
Sure.
5 successes.
4.
4.
2.
Best that I can give you, Imogen and Adelaide, is werewolves tend to hang out in green spaces. Imogen, your mother definitely warned you not to go to parks at night because you could possibly run into angry puppies there. Adelaide, you were definitely told if you see a werewolf, Kindred don't know very much about werewolves, so I think at best Alexander would have told you never go out during a full moon. Maria, you spend a lot of time in your shop. You have a lot of occult books in your shop, and sometimes when it's slow or you don't have any fetters at the moment, and especially during confinement, you had a lot of time to yourself. Well, not really. You had to take time for yourself to get away from your aunts. And so you spend a lot of time reading some of the books in your shop. And you don't know how accurate they are, but the best that you know about werewolves is that they tend to believe that they're warriors for a force known as Gaia, which is could be anything. Gaia, force of the earth, force of creation, something to that effect. But that's the best that you got.
Heard.
So, strong warriors, scary. Nothing. And Tullio, you don't know. Olivia didn't school you on Blue Pines.
I don't know much about them.
I know that they, I mean, I can only guess based on some things, but I know that they're warriors for something called Gaia. It sounds like protectors of the earth of some sort. Maybe that's why they have an interest, in a vested one at least, in taking down the Shadowbane. Makes sense to me.
Given how it was created, that makes sense. It brought in balance.
But
Is there anything else they said to you besides the Shadowbane and Edgar's company?
I'll pull out the card. It said to give someone a call if we find or get information on the Shadowbane.
A card is just a plain laminated card, and someone has written on it in Sharpie a phone number, and the name on the card says Walker.
Outstanding.
yeah, they kind of just left after they gave Imogen the card.
Well, you saw all sorts of interesting things that werewolves can do. You saw one of them appear as a wolf, and then a bigger wolf. You saw one of them appear as a golden retriever, or a German shepherd, one of them. And you saw golden retriever, and you saw one appear as a hulking, lumbering, 7-foot-tall, caveman-like looking person. And then all of them turn back into humans.
Yeah.
Definitely describe that to the coterie.
And not on a full moon?
No.
As far as I remember, no.
And I mean, that golden retriever looked fucking cute. I really wanted to pet that fucking golden retriever. So, like, they could be fucking anywhere.
Anywhere and anything. Add that to the list of our problems.
Yep. Growing list. Well.
Did you learn more about the Shadowbane?
I haven't.
Not yet. But I did learn something fun last night when I went to my when I went on a little date with Catherine. We did a little graffitiing, and then we went to Seneca Giovanni's manor. You know, no big deal. She wanted to explore it. Why not? We did.
Why not? Maria. Whatever. You don't know. Never mind. Go on.
What don't I know?
Don't worry about it yet. Continue. Tell me about your lovely date night.
Well, I figured y'all might interest you. So, question. How many Giovanni are in Berlin? Y'all might find this interesting. Gather around and look at this. And she's going to pull out two 19th century looking photos and place them down on a table in front of the coterie. One of them has a photo of Osric and Olivia and another woman. And then the other is Hannelore seated with a toddler on her lap and Osric Duncern standing next to her. On the other side of Hannelore is the same woman from the other photo. These faces look familiar, right? Found these in Seneca Manor.
Does anyone pick up? Yep.
Yeah.
Which one do you pick up?
The one with Hannelore.
The one with Hannelore has nothing written on it on the back. But as Maria said, it's Hannelore sitting with a toddler on her lap. Osric Duncern is on her left. And on her right is Olivia Duncern and a woman you don't know. And 19th century, so mid-1800s, looks like.
I'm confused, Maria.
The other one, the other photo. She's gonna flip it, And on the back of the photo are 3 names: Valentino, Francesca, and Isabella. I believe that we're seeing pieces to a puzzle here. I believe that we're seeing multiple Giovannis in hiding. This was found in Seneca's mansion, hidden away.
Adelaide's gonna pull out the drawing from her bag that she stole from Edgar's trash can.
And do you
put it
recall
on the table.
how the storyteller described that image to you? Not that they looked alike, but that they would.
I remember we talked about having the same expression and eyes.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. That's correct.
And there's more. That other one, Isabella. She's chained up in the basement of the mansion. I know the name. Storyteller. I know the name of that now, right?
Giancarlo told you what it was, yeah.
Yeah. Sadly, he's a white. Barely managed to get the fuck out of there. But yeah. Isabella Giovanni is a white in the bottom of Seneca Mansion right now, chained up.
Is that everything that happened, Maria?
Is that everything? I think so. Yeah, pretty much. I was tempted to go back in and see if I could find anything more, but the white kind of scared me away a little bit.
You're lucky you lived.
Yeah.
Then Catherine, she pulled my ass out of there fucking quick.
So
I almost stumbled up the fucking stairs.
You and Catherine know?
Yeah.
Have you told anyone else?
No, not yet. I wanted to tell you all first.
Keep studying the picture that I picked up.
For all you can tell, from a picture alone, it looks like Honori had a child with Osric Dunsern, or Valentino, as his name appears on the other photo.
And is there anything
More than that,
on
it would
the
be impossible for you to determine.
Right.
Is there anything on the photos with Sense the Unseen?
No. Maria did check.
Okay.
Yeah, I tried. I really tried. I didn't know a better moment to bring this up.
This must have been before. Hey,
Before?
before they were embraced. Kind of flip the picture.
Would think so. Wonder that that toddler is.
I don't know.
With the picture that we have? No? Okay.
Again, it's an educated guess.
It's an educated guess. Okay.
But so there's also 2 more things to be gained from this. We definitely know that Olivia is a Giovanni. And Osric is.
As you say that, Bella is standing right behind you. What?
How's your arm?
Adelaide's gonna try and get up and walk over to Bella.
Did Maria just say that my mom was born a Giovanni?
She did.
Then why is she a Dunsern? Why am I a Dunsern?
We don't know yet, Bella.
And Adelaide's just gonna wrap her arms around Bella.
Bella just seems to be in shock. Did you say that other woman's name was Isabella? Like mine?
Yeah.
Did anyone ever tell you you were named after someone?
No. Mama, what does it mean?
I don't know yet. We're going to find out, though. And I have a lot of questions for Edgar.
Why? You think he knew?
I don't know. But it'll be a bigger problem if he did. But he's done some. Talked about that being blood and blood.
Tullio, you've been awful quiet during these revelations. A storyteller can ask what's going through your mind.
He's furious. He's fuming.
At? Furious
The
at?
revelations themselves. The fact that the coterie was separated on so many levels and constantly found themselves in danger, and we weren't there for one another.
Mm-hmm.
And the fact that information is just now coming out, and it may have been a night prior, but I feel like this, or rather, he feels like this should have been immediate. We should have met the very night. There's also a bit of like, he's kind of prioritizing things in his head. This is all very useful information, but he's catastrophizing a bit. Which task to tackle first?
Sure. So as Tullio sort of is bullet point in his mind going through sort of a priority list of things that needs to be taken care of or what we should focus on. And as you attempt to comfort Bella, Bella gets a ping on her phone and she looks down at it and she just looks at you with this strange face and she turns around and walks over to the door. The front door. And
Where are you going?
she opens it.
I'm stopping her if I can.
You can try.
Okay.
And as you stop her, she shows you the camera. It's from Edgar's security. And she says, Kasim's at the door.
We're running, throat, like...
Crunching bones, running.
Crunching bone, like, blood starts pouring out of her eyes.
So, you open the door. Who is standing there is Kasim. He's wearing the clothes he was wearing last night, except everything is ruined. He's missing his arm from the elbow down. He's also missing his left eye.
Just fully weeping, Adelaide, like, throws herself on him and, like, tries to pull him inside and is checking him over. She's saying a bunch of stuff in Arabic.
So all of you see the sheriff of the Camarilla and the interim prince of Berlin and Adelaide in this rather romantic embrace at the door. Which means that Adelaide is fraternizing with the Camarilla on a much more intimate level than the professional level that the Hecata try to keep with the Camarilla. And how that makes all of you feel is up to you entirely. But Kasim, with his one good arm, picks you up off of the ground, brings you back over to the couch, and bends down, and in Arabic says, "How badly hurt are you?"
I shouldn't. You're alive. You're alive.
And in English...
German.
Or German. In German.
Mhm.
In German, Adelaide says,
I fell 15 meters after I bit Zahira in the neck when she tried to take me.
He kisses you on the forehead and stands up and addresses the rest of your coterie. And in German, he says, One of my scourges has met final death. The other is in torpor, after an attack from Sahira at Charlottenburg Palace last night.
Glad you're okay.
Now Imogen looks like she's fuming.
And he has his shirt sort of tied off where his arm is missing. I have no choice now but to spend the rest of my time hunting Sahira down mercilessly and with I can't think of the phrase in German, with prejudice, with total prejudice.
That sounds close enough.
This event is catastrophic for the masquerade, and if I do not destroy her with no hesitation and in quick time, the Primogen will be forced to call a Justicar here. I'm charging you with keeping Adelaide safe. Mr. Giovanni, can I speak with you for a moment?
By all means, Sheriff.
It's interim, Prince.
Congratulations.
He's been the interim prince for a while. He grabs you by the collarbone with his good hand and sort of force walks you into the kitchen. Mr. Giovanni, if any of your members of the family are found with Sahira when I go on the attack, they will be met with absolutely no mercy. I suggest you get your family in line before the Justicar arrives.
You can make certain, Prince, that any Hecata you find with Sahira deserve the final death.
And the final death they shall have. On a further note, if I can find Adelaide, Sahira can find Adelaide. You might not be versed in blood magic, but we are.
With all due respect, Prince Kasim, she's my family. And I won't be told how to take care of my family. Plans are already in order.
There is nowhere that you could hide from me, Mr. Giovanni. I know your face. I need only a drop of my blood and a few ritual items, and I could track you to the ends of the earth. Sahira could track Adelaide to the ends of the earth as well. The difference is when you're both blood sorcerers, you can mask, you can hide from each other. Adelaide possesses no blood sorcery. I am telling you this so that you get her to safety. And do not keep her in one place. I will keep Sahira busy as I can. Do you understand?
Let me make myself clear, Prince. As I said, I'm taking care of my family. You don't walk into my brother's home and give me commands. I'm not part of your fucking Camarilla. Now, for the love that I bear you, and the work we've done together before, I take your information under advisement. You don't walk in here and command me to do shit.
He turns back to you, Adelaide.
I was gonna ask, can Adelaide hear all this?
Yes.
She's standing up. Crunchy bones and all.
Kasim, it is not their job to protect me.
No, it's mine, and I failed.
Yes, and we go from there.
And she's looking at the cameras that are everywhere in Edgar's home.
In Arabic, he says, Sahira will not stop hunting you. Sahira knows Edgar's location. Edgar has told me that she's broken into this apartment before. You cannot stay here. You're not safe here, and Bella's not safe here. And if your cousin is too pig-headed to understand that, I need you to get through to him.
Tullio kept me safe all evening and all morning. I know you're worried.
He sort of looks at himself. I kept Zahira busy all night. And she cannot walk in the sun. Please understand that, Habibti.
I understand. And we're going to go.
If anything happens to you, Adelaide, your family will wish they would have protected you.
I don't like it when you sound like him.
I need to be this way right now, to bring myself to kill my own sister. And my brother.
She wants Alexander right now for the lies he told.
No, Adelaide. She wants you. So I will kill her, and I will kill him, and anyone else who threatens you. Even a Justicar.
She's gonna put her fingers to her lips and then his heart.
He's going to repeat the gesture, and then once again in German say to Tullio, if she's your family, then do your duty, and I will do mine.
Good evening, Interim Prince.
He kisses you, Adelaide, deep and passionately, before leaving.
Adelaide had gotten between Tullio and Kasim, and so she's going to turn around.
Zahira knows where Edgar's apartment is.
We should leave.
Yeah.
We'll talk
Any
in the
place.
car.
Yes.
Bella says, but Mama, you're still not fully healed.
Doesn't matter.
Maria, you remember when Kenneth was younger and he broke his arm and we were at your house and your mom healed his arm? Can she do that for Adelaide?
Storyteller, yeah, right?
Mm-hmm. You remember the event Bella was talking about when Kenneth was a teenager.
Yeah. I believe Mama could do something along those lines. Yeah. Shall we go see Minerva then?
Please, Mama.
Let's go see Manura. We can talk about what all happened in the car.
Where should I go?
My home.
I don't have keys to your home.
I'll give her mine.
You gonna give her your keys?
Right.
All right. I'll be waiting for you, Mama.
Be safe, my love.
I love you.
I love you.
I'm gonna squeeze her hand.
Mm-hmm.
Let her go.
She leaves down the stairs. Not to the private elevator, because to the stairs she can get to the tram a lot faster that way. So all of you descend to the parking garage, which is where Tullio's sedan is. So Tullio, you will be driving to Kreuzberg, to where Minerva lives, where also Maria and Magdalena and Mirabella and Katrin live. And if there's any discussion you'd like to have in the car on the way there, now is the time to do it.
Adelaide. I'd
Yes.
like to apologize for not dealing with Zahira before she got to you.
Zahira has been chasing me for quite a while, it seems.
I should have done something more. And I'm sorry.
Were you even in a position to be able to do something more?
Doesn't matter.
I think it does.
Yeah, I agree with Adelaide on that one.
I'm very tired of keeping secrets.
Let's start with honesty then. How long have you had a little Camarilla boyfriend, Adelaide?
The night that Reidenstein was killed, remember? We went to go see the sheriff. I thought he was hunting Alexander. He wasn't. Papa told them all I died. So a few weeks passed then.
Excellent.
That would be about 6 years.
So for 6 years, you haven't trusted us to keep that a secret for you.
I think we talked about this the last time we spent time together, Tullio.
About secrets, we talked about honesty. I'm not going to shame you for your choice of lover, Adelaide.
I didn't want Olivia to know.
I wouldn't have told. It's not just us that keeps secrets. It's not just this coterie that hides information from one another. It's the entire fucking family. That's the whole reason Zahira is such a problem. We have a laundry list of problems to tackle. Zahira should be at the top of our list. There's so many Giovanni in Berlin and hiding. That doesn't help us now. There's werewolves looking for the Shadowbane. That doesn't help us now. The family needs to be united. We are torn, we are fractured, and we keep our fucking secrets. It's time to pay everyone a visit. It's time to speak with them and to get them to get their shit together. All cards on the table, a united family, a united Hecata.
Agreed.
I agree.
You already know my thoughts on this.
I have
We are.
concerns
Go on.
with how many Giovanni are in the city. I get
What do you...
hiding. But with what I've learned, and with what the Asher said, do you know how to use the Shadowbane, Tullio?
No.
I would like to inside check Tullio.
You certainly may. But Tullio's not
Okay.
lying. Tullio's not. You don't even have to roll. Tullio's not lying.
Okay,
He doesn't know.
Perfect. Okay, sweet.
And it's not because Lucius doesn't know either.
That's actually something. One second. Maria is gonna say in that moment. That's something Edgar wanted me to ask. Crap, what's her name? Ilsa.
Elsa,
Ilsa. That's what Edgar wanted me to ask Ilsa. What does Lucius need to use the Shadowbane?
I'm going to butcher this terribly.
Blut ruft nacht Blut.
You did not butcher it. Blut ruft nach Blut. Blood calls to blood.
What does that even mean?
To use it, you need the blood.
Do we know who created the Shadowbane? Do we know its origins?
You do not.
I would imagine its creator or its...
However, Maria knows, because Edgar told her, that Ilsa Asher... Now, all of you are under the impression as I established before, that Akua Samdi is the oldest Hecata in Berlin, was embraced around the time of the Napoleonic Wars. Or, at the very least, was already a kindred during the time of the Napoleonic Wars, because he loves to talk about it. He's a big blabbermouth. However, Edgar, being the knowledge-hungry kindred that he is, learned that that is in fact not at all true. And Maria knows that Elsa Asher is someone of significant age. Whether Maria shares that with you is up to her.
Oh yeah. If anybody's gonna know, it could be Elsa Asher. Edgar told me that she's a lot older than initially given off. Yeah.
Then we speak with Elsa.
We speak with Elsa. I only know so much about the Shadowbane, but I'm finding out all I can. But you're either in danger, and she's gonna look to Tullio and Imogen, or part of the plan.
So be it.
Tullio,
Family.
you mentioned honesty in bringing the family together. The photos that I showed you, do you wish me to show them to Minerva as well?
Given how much she wants Tullio, maybe not.
That's why I'm asking.
We keep this to ourselves for now. We use it to our advantage. We unite this family under any means necessary. If Valentino needs to be fucking threatened, we threaten to uncover his little secret. Same with Francesca.
There's somebody else who might have further information, Adelaide, that we spoke about. Given certain situations, Ida. Maybe even
on that. I know I've been spending a lot of time with the witch. Alexander has her fetter.
Your sire has Ida's fetter.
I'm sorry, it's very difficult for me. I'm trying. Alexander does a lot of favors for people to get what he wants. And sometimes he doesn't follow through.
Well, at least we know where it is. Thank you for sharing that, Adelaide.
I need to impress this upon you. Did know where it was. I don't know if it's still there, but I know where he's at. Or at least the last location. And Imogen, the conversation we had where I said I wanted to talk with you.
Yes.
What does your sister look like?
Imogen will freeze. I have the picture that the witch gave me.
Yes, you do. How do you put that in there for no reason?
Right. Imogen will freeze for a moment and shakily pull out the photo and hand it to Adelaide.
And yes, the preserved kindred in Alexander's lab looks exactly like this girl.
Why do you ask?
Because she's there too. He brought her home in torpor
I thought No, that can't be right. What? Are you... She's not dead. She's alive.
She is dead, but not fully.
For your clarification, Adelaide, you know that whatever this ritual is that your sire can do allows them to preserve a kindred body without putting them almost in a stasis. So they are not in traditional torpor where they have to mend and heal their bodies. They're also not the same as being staked where they can hear and see everything. It is as if they are putting them into a stasis to keep them preserved in a certain condition.
To out of character clarify, last Imogen and Tullio saw Imogen's sister,
Ariana?
She wasn't kindred, right? She was.
Right.
No. Imogen hit her in the head with a brick, and to put her out of her misery, you stabbed her in the heart.
Why does he have her?
There's a couple of reasons that Baba would take and do something like this after saying he disposed of someone. Either they pissed him off, which is in the best way, aren't important enough for him to do that, or someone offered him something better.
I have to see her.
He was trying. To get her and the fetter.
Where is she now, Adelaide?
The last location I got was in Mitte. I was going to try to go home. See the state of things. But it appears that there's a lot that I didn't know.
Imogen goes quiet.
It sounds like we need to go as a family.
We just need to be careful.
Who else will be there, Adelaide?
Oh, we talked of magic, blood sorcery. Alexander, he does a different type of magic.
So no one. Just wards and glyphs to keep her safe.
Wards and glyphs and fire.
What's the likelihood that he'll come back to retrieve her anytime soon?
Until whatever deal is up. He'll keep her for collateral at least. A bargaining chip. I'm starting to think everyone's a bargaining chip.
So, you arrive in Kreutzberg at the Esoteric, where Minerva lives above the shop with Maria. And you can easily, as you've all been here before, you can easily go up the stairs. You can buzz the door, and Minerva answers. Hello?
Mama, it's us.
Oh, come on in, baby. She buzzes you in.
Maria's gonna hold the door open for her coterie.
Adelaide will go last so they don't have to wait on her.
As you wish. Minerva's waiting at the door. She's wearing a mustard yellow sweater dress. And she's got lots of beads on. And she goes, "Hey, baby. You brought
Hey, Mama.
You brought all your cousins, huh?"
Yeah, a lot kind of happened. We need your help, Mama, with healing Adelaide.
Oh, who's Adelaide? You heard? What happened? You can't heal yourself?
No, I can't. I fell too far.
Maria, put her on the couch.
Okay. Maria's gonna help Adelaide.
I will
couch.
make sure. Oh no, I wouldn't have put it on if I knew I was coming. Never mind. It's in the car.
Okay, we good? We good? I can touch you first.
I'm gonna, like a pack rat, store things in Tullio's car for later.
It's a true. I love that.
Like trauma.
Very cool.
There's fucking cheese in my glove box, Adelaide. We don't eat.
I might put it for later.
Shit.
Bella eats.
Shit. So Minerva
Thought Dylan
comes.
might like it.
Minerva comes over to you, Adelaide, and she looks over your legs. I don't even need to spend willpower. 4, 5, 6, 7. And she sort of looks over your leg and says, "Oh, Adelaide, what did you do?" And she puts both hands over it, and you feel this very warm, sort of glowing feeling coming from her hands as she sort of massages your leg, and then you hear crunch. She pops it back into the right place. With 7 successes, you can absolutely remove that aggravated damage and any other damage that you might have had, physical or otherwise. All your trauma healed.
Who cares about trauma? I have a cool aunt.
Absolutely.
Does it feel familiar, like what she does to people?
Mhm.
Oh,
It's familiar.
Righty. Where did you learn how to do this?
Oh, back when I was a ghoul, I was always helping out the other ghouls, like, midwifery. And so when I became a kindred, I made sure that I learned how to keep helping in that way,
It took a lot of practice, yes.
Yeah, it does, but, we're pretty good at it.
I gotta learn that from you, Mama, at some point.
Yeah, I can teach you. So, Adelaide, what happened, honey?
I fell
How far?
15 meters.
You fell 50 feet? What were you doing? You're doing that thing, that parkour thing that Katrin likes to do? You shouldn't do that, Adelaide.
I was running away from Ambrose.
Where were you running where you were 50 feet off the ground from your cousin? You kids play too rough.
There's a
I
lot
would like
going
to
on in that.
insight check Minerva as I mentioned Ambrose.
Sure,
See if she knows.
sure,
Can I do the same?
sure. You see Huddy not rolling?
Yep.
Minerva is unfortunately... Well, you might learn something about Minerva, but she's unfortunately not... No, she doesn't seem to... Saying Ambrose doesn't seem to make her react in any sort of a way.
I got 4,
Yep, no.
but it's messy.
So you're gonna increase your hunger. Back up to 2. Back up. Mm-hmm. So why were you running from your cousin 50 feet up in the air? Do I have to go talk to Hamish? About his kids?
Adelaide is going to look to the rest of the coterie because she know lies are not her strong suit if we're gonna lie to this woman. This sweet old Oma.
She looks like she's maybe like 28.
Oma.
She just,
In spirit.
she just acts like an Oma, but she's like 28. She looks about as old as Honori, like between 25 and 28.
Maria has a lot going through her mind as she listens to Minerva talk about this, and realizing that Minerva might not know anything at all really about what's going on, and the tension that Maria was feeling about the confrontation that she was thinking about having with her mom is now.
Ambrose
Adelaide-
is
Okay, perfect.
Hi, Tullio.
Ambrose isn't
How you doing, honey?
playing anymore. Unwell. If I'm being
Good. You
absolutely honest.
look well. I hope Olivia's treating you okay.
We're it's a whole other conversation. Ambrose isn't playing anymore. Ambrose has chosen his side when we draw battle lines.
Chosen his side? There's only one side, the family. What side is he choosing?
Not the family.
Yeah,
Ugh.
it's a lot.
Does Osric know
Remember-
about this?
No, not yet.
It usually falls under his purview. They call him the Pope for a reason.
Well, the Pope has been neglecting his fucking duties then. We're on our way across the city basically tonight to be sure that the family is united front. Sahira
Okay.
is our enemy.
The
entire
Anak
family's
Baron.
enemy. She's not an Anak. Minerva. She's Sabat. She's a problem.
Oh my lord.
Yeah,
Sabat.
there's a
Haven't
lot
had
going
any
on
problems
there.
with Sabat in decades. Last time we had a problem with Sabat in Berlin, I was a fledgling.
How long have you been in Berlin? Also, the correct term is infernalist.
I've never heard that term. We always called them Sabat. How long have I been kindred? Well, I was embraced around the same time as Osric and Olivia were embraced in the early 20th century.
How well do you know Osric and Olivia, Mama?
I've known them my whole life. I grew up with them.
One thing at a time, Maria.
As she's saying that she grew up with Osric and Olivia, and she grew up with them in the 20th century, whereas the photos you have are clearly from the 19th century. I need everyone to roll me a wits and insight. I need Imogen and Tullio to take an extra die in this for no reason.
I was trying to figure out the timeline in my head.
Everyone cast their eyes back to Prologue 1, where Minerva says that they grew up together in the 20th century. Why would Huddy say that? That's so silly.
That's 6 successes with a quit.
Nice.
3.
Same. 3.
Mm.
I only got my partner's luck for one session.
Mhm.
8.
Well, Maria, you can tell that Minerva's not lying about what she's saying, but what she's saying couldn't possibly be true. But Tullio, you can also tell that she's not lying what she's saying, but you know this. You had your memories tampered with for decades by Lucius. And she's speaking as if she's speaking the truth, but she couldn't possibly be. And you're getting the feeling that someone has messed with her memories. Yeah, Osric, Olivia, and I, we grew up together in New York in the 20th century, early 20th century. I came to Berlin around 1950.
There's almost like a pleading look from Maria to Tullio. She's just going to look at him because she knows that Minerva's telling what she believes is telling the truth.
Minerva, what we're about to tell you next is going to come as a shock. And we need you to keep it to yourself. For the love that we bear each other as family.
You
Do
can
it for
tell
me, Mama.
You can tell me anything, honey.
Your memories are false.
My memories are false. Why would you say something like that, honey?
Because you don't remember Isabella?
Olivia's daughter? Of course I remember Isabella. I've known her since she was a little girl.
Adelaide's gonna reach over and take Maria's hand and like give it a squeeze.
Yeah, Maria will squeeze back, and with her free hand, she's going to gesture to her jacket where the edge of the photos would be shown, and she's going to look to Tullio, kind of like a, do I? Mama, you say in the 20th century, there's no way that can be right, because, and she's going to pull out the photos, and she's going to hand them to Olivia.
She takes
Or
the photo.
no, to Minerva.
She takes the photos. And, oh my god. Hannah has a child. Like a blood child.
There's a lot more to that. Look at the other one.
She does? Valentina. No, this can't be right.
Do you know who Valentino is?
No,
It's Osric.
I can see that.
I found those with Catadan in Seneca Manor. Mama.
Does Minerva look like she's getting upset?
Yes.
Adelaide's gonna reach out and kind of touch her hand and her arm and use Panacea to help her.
You may.
Okay. So that maybe that'll help with the next bit.
I need to talk to your aunties about this, Maria.
The other M's?
Yeah. Because we all believe the same thing. I know because we were talking about it not that long ago. Which means, who would mess with our memories?
We don't know that yet.
Who would have a reason to?
Olivia.
Those in hiding.
Osric.
You know, kids, I know all of you are real young, so you weren't around before the purge. You don't know what it was like. Being under the, and no offense, kids, Tullio, Imogen, you don't know what it was like being under the thumb of the Giovanni. Everything that you couldn't look at someone sideways without asking Seneca Giovanni if it was okay first. Everything that he ever wanted, you had to do it, no matter what. And so many Giovanni was scared. They killed him. And not just Giovanni. My mother died in the purge. My sister Minette died in the purge. Maria's great-grandmother. Because they were loyal to the Giovanni. So if this is true and Osric and Olivia got other bloodlines to got the Duncerns to embrace them just because they were scared, I understand that. But messing with my memories, that's a violation that I can't abide that.
No one is asking you to abide that, Minerva.
Minerva, I do have a question for you.
Well, hopefully I can answer it with some sort of accuracy. This is terrible.
What happened when you found Tullio?
What do you mean?
You found Tullio, yes? And you asked Olivia to
Well,
keep
yes.
him.
And of course, Tullio, you know you were told to head over to where the Rosselinis were by Lucius, but Minerva will say, well, I found him just sort of wandering the street outside of Esoteric, and like I said, I grew up under the thumb of Seneca Giovanni, or that's how I came up as a kindred. I was bloodbound to my auntie Lycinia, and Mirabella was bound to Lucrezia, and so I was used to doing things the right way, the protocol, and the protocol was Olivia said that you had to come to her to adopt any child, just like Hannah-Laurie, and Hannah-Laurie adopted a lot of childer. And when I found one, I thought, hey, I don't want to, go through the embrace again. I already have a child here. And I did everything the way that she wanted me to. And she said no. And now I'm thinking she said no because she's a Giovanni and she wanted a pet Giovanni all for herself. I just wanted another baby. That's all. Someone to love. And teach how to do, wraith stuff.
Crimson tears start pulling at the corners of Maria's eyes.
So that's the proper protocol, is ghouling, bonding, permission from...
I mean, that's from... my mother was bound to her mother, and that's just the way that we always did it. That's
Is
just
that
the
why
way
I'm
it
bound
will...
to you?
Well, if you want the honest truth, Maria, yeah, that's just the way, it's not to control, at least not from my perspective, it's not to control you. My mother never, or my auntie Lycinia never asked me to do anything that I didn't want to do, I don't think. But it's so no one else can claim you, so no one else can use you for their own purposes.
Insight check. Sure.
Look, Adelaide's just trying to help Maria by asking the questions so it doesn't look weird.
It's almost like generational trauma.
Generational trauma, the
thing
Chronicle. Yeah.
In this
yeah.
Chronicle.
Yeah, I'm seeing that.
It's just the way things are done.
Mhm.
Also,
This is the way it's always been.
I wonder where Minerva would have heard that from growing up.
really happy Maria had those individual conversations with all the coaching members.
And she'll go on to say, it was no different, with my brothers, Maurizio Puttanesca and Marco Puttanesca and Matteo Puttanesca. Milo, Putanesca, I'm sure you've heard of them. They were all bound to my dad's side of the family.
What about Beatrice?
Maurizio's daughter. That's a longer story.
It's important, Minerva.
What did you roll,
Okay.
Maria?
Important.
5.
She's stalling.
In that moment, I'm sorry, Adelaide, she's gonna let go of your hand, and she's going to go up to Minerva and just hug her really fucking tight.
And she hugs you back. What's wrong, baby? Is it because I'm talking too much about the past and it's boring?
No. I doubted you, Mama, and I'm sorry.
Baby, if you tell me that your cousins are gonna look out for you and they got your best interests at heart, then you don't need to drink my blood anymore. It's okay. I don't have any way to protect you and let you live your life at the same time.
With everything that was happening, we were talking about honesty. With everything that was happening, I thought you were using me. I got scared.
I don't know if I've asked you to do anything you don't. I mean, I know I'm mad at Olivia, but nobody likes Olivia, do they?
I don't.
Or
like
am I
Olivia.
wrong? Or does does she have a secret fan club among the family that I don't know about?
No. But
Sorry, Tullio. No offense. I know she's your mother now.
I don't give a shit about her.
That's not nice, though.
It's the honesty.
Well, she obviously has a lot of explaining to do. That's for sure. But we shouldn't hate each other. We're all each other has.
Couldn't agree more.
Although I hate,
Yeah.
if Osric had something to do with this, he's gonna hear it from me, and he's gonna fix it too because this is unacceptable.
This is the part where we ask you for your discretion, Minerva. We're going to get this fixed, but for the time being, the family needs to be united front. Sahira is our biggest problem right now. The Camarilla has spoken about a purge of her and her followers, and any Hecata that are following her or with her when they find her. They will be destroyed as well.
Would you take some advice from an old lady?
Always.
I think that you're smart talking to the individual members of the family about this problem, especially if the Milliners are with the Sabbat. But I think you should also, when we gather for the family dinner, make a big proclamation. Really stick it to Olivia. And if I make a suggestion, we don't have a head of family for the Giovanni bloodline. You should be it.
you have my support.
There will
And you have mine, honey.
be a proclamation made at the family dinner. It's part of the reason why we're going to the individual heads of the families. We're gauging who our true allies are.
Because if you really want to make this effective, and I know I'm no big name in the heads of the bloodlines, right? But if you really want to make this effective and you want to eliminate the Sabbat and show the Camarilla that we're not to be, excuse my language, to be fucked with, then we need to do it together as a family.
I agree.
We do have a bigger issue, though, because the Milliners and Sahira went after the Camarilla. They're not the ones covering this up.
Oh, that is a big issue. That is a big issue, yeah.
So please let the other members of the family know that we need to be discreet.
I will. But I would suggest you maybe don't talk to the Milliners. Unless you know of any of the Milliners who are against this.
The only conversation I'm going to have is when I eat Ambrose Milliner's tongue out of his face.
That sounds like something your father would
Oof.
say.
I mean, hardcore, but I'm here for it, Adelaide.
I've heard him say worse things.
I've seen him do worse.
I bet you have. Is he going to
Mama,
come to
I'm-
the family dinner?
Have you
As far
seen?
as I know, everyone is.
Mm. Well, I only ask because Alexander is the most, I don't even know the word. What's the word, Maria? He's like enigmatic. He's never around. Nobody knows what he wants, what he thinks, who he is. Not really.
Yeah, sounds about right. Azure doesn't know. Rachel doesn't know. My ADHD is
Nobody knows.
No one knows. It's okay. She called Adelaide like her father. She's gone stone-faced even though the player is crying.
Well, I wish you kids all the luck. I won't say nothing. I mean, I'm going to tell Mirabella and Magdalena, but they're Rossellini and I'm their head. They listen, and my sisters, and they'll listen to me. I mean, I could talk to Maurizio Putanesca if you want me to. He's my brother.
He's your brother.
Yes. I said that. Maurizio, Marco, Matteo, Milo, they're all my brothers. A thing that we do a lot back in the old days of the Bloodlines is we used to sort of mix and match, right? So my family, the Rossellinis, we sort of had arrangement with the Putanescas, and then they would sort of, how many kids we had, they'd sort of divvy it up. Though they would be Putanescas, they would be Rosselinis, stuff like that. The Millinas and the Dunsons had the same thing going on.
Do you know where Maurizio is? So we could maybe go talk to him?
Maurizio lives in Friedrichshain.
If you could pass along an invitation.
Adelaide's gonna walk out of the room real quick.
Mm-hmm. Sorry, your voice dropped.
If you could pass along to Maurizio that there will be a family dinner he's cordially invited to, and
Well, I don't have to pass that along. Everyone knows that.
can we count on his support?
I've never gotten along with my brothers. But again, that's sort of a thing where I knew I was going to be Rossellini. So they sort of discouraged us from getting too close to each other. Because I had my own destiny to uphold. So I don't know them all that. I mean, I know them, but I've never really gotten along with them. I'm sorry. It's just the way things used to be.
It's all right.
We can still extend
We
the olive
will-
branch.
Extend a hand to anyone who will take it as a united family, as a united Hecata.
But if you really want someone with firepower, to use that word, it's Elsa Asher you should talk to. She's the one who decapitated Seneca Giovanni.
Right.
Brought the end
Yes.
of the sort of purge of the Giovanni here in Berlin. She's still got his head in a vitrine in her haven. I don't know how.
Yeah, remember I told you that, Tullio.
I remember.
And she wears a mask of his face.
That's a little
We'll speak with
hardcore.
her.
All the Ashes wear masks, Maria, you know that.
Yeah.
Sorry, honey, go ahead.
We'll speak with her next. If it's agreeable to everyone.
Works for me.
I'll be here if you need anything, and you got my support.
Thank you.
Maria's
Nova.
gonna hug
course.
Minerva again.
Mhm.
Maria will say that, Mama, I do want to let it pass. The bond. I want to.
If I hear that you get into any sort of trouble while they're supposed to be looking out for you, then you're going to be in big trouble, young lady.
I
Maria's just
promise nothing will happen to her.
I accept that promise.
But with the issue with the milliners happening, please, while I'm away, keep Catherine safe from me.
Of course. We'll have all of us watching her. Right now she's eating one of those disgusting German roll-up burrito things. Doner kebabs.
Fantastic.
Is anything
Thank
else?
you, Mama.
Anything else I can do for you kids? You need a snack for the go?
I think I'm good. Yeah, I'm good.
Anyone else need a snack?
I could eat.
I could eat is a good way to put it, yes. Thank you for healing my leg, Minerva.
Of course. She goes behind into where the kitchen is, and she comes out with just like a bag full of treated blood bags. Here you go. We don't keep anything fresh on the premises. I've always wanted to say that.
Thank you.
Is this the part where we stand around awkwardly, or do we leave now?
I think it's okay for us to go now. Yeah, Mama?
Of course. Go do your coterie thing.
We will, in fact, do a coterie thing.
I'm going to watch this new show I saw called Love Island while you're gone.
What's...
It's atrocious and an abomination upon this world, and I enjoy it.
I think it's pretty good.
Company.
All those people out in the sunshine, that's fun to watch.
Maybe Catelyn will like it, too.
Maybe.
Tullio will hang back if just for a quick moment to have a moment alone with Minerva.
Everyone who takes bags, and even if you're half bags, she brought out a whole bunch. Remove yourselves down to 1 hunger.
Adelaide's gonna eat it before we leave, and then like make sure she folds it and puts it back in the bag, so they
Minerva...
can't see the empty bag.
So Tullio, you want a moment alone with Minerva before we take our break?
If I could, yes.
Go for it. You sit down on her couch covered in plastic, like she's sitting on.
Absolutely. I know you've had aspirations to see the Rossellini restored back to where they once were, at the top.
Well, definitely above the Duncerns, no offense. Well, Edgar's not here.
It means the world to me that you would support my claim as head of the Giovanni. I can't express to you enough.
Well, I think you're just the sweetest, Tullio, but you know that. And don't be offended by this, but you're the only Giovanni in the city that I'm aware of. Who else would it be but you? It's almost like fate.
Fate has a strange way of turning plans upside down, Minerva. Regardless, it means the world to me, especially with what you went through with Seneca.
I try not to think about it. He's dead now.
I won't forget any of this.
Apparently I might.
I went through the same thing. We're going to fix it.
Oh, you're sweet, honey.
Good evening.
Have a good night. Take care of Maria.
And I will kiss her forehead and leave.
Okay. So as the rest of the coterie get into the car, full up on Nona Minerva's snacks, Maria having no issue asking for a release from the blood bond, maybe never asking Minerva what her past was like and what her childhood and growing up was like. And she couldn't have gone into more gross detail than that, but I didn't want to. And as you all pile into the car, the next stop, I suppose, is Elsa Asher for all of you fine little deathlings. And we are going to take our break right here. Hello, everyone. We're back after a little bio break. And the coterie have just met with Minerva Rossellini, and some of them have changed their opinions quite drastically about the head of the Rossellini bloodline. Adelaide is healed. All the coterie are all fed up from Nona's snacks, and they have made their way to a district in Berlin, which everyone here has been to except for Adelaide, called Wedding. It is a more industrial district. And where Elsa Asher lives is she lives in what is a converted mausoleum that looks more like a manor home inside of the cemetery here in Wedding. It's very, very large, and you're not quite sure how she keeps this under wraps. This doesn't look like something that the humans wouldn't notice. But as you get closer to approaching it, walking through the cemetery to get here, You notice that it is all boarded up on the outside. Lots of signs that say that you can't come in, that there is dangerous asbestos in here, and a small fence that surrounds it. Which you think maybe is her precautionary way of keeping the humans from checking it out. Now, as I said, this place is covered with a fence, so let's everyone wits investigation this to figure out how the fuck you're gonna knock on her door.
Maria is just like, I'm loving the aesthetic.
Mm-hmm. It's covered in graffiti on the outside. It looks like it's totally unkept on the outside.
Pretty.
There's a few broken off cherubs and some potted plants with dead flowers in it.
5 with a crit.
Mm-hmm.
None.
Glad it wasn't a wits and awareness roll.
Good lord.
That could have gone badly for everyone.
It could have.
Sorry, can I get the roll again?
Wits
I'm so
investigation. 4. Mm-hmm.
1.
1. Okay, so unfortunately the Giovanni not pulling their weight on this one, but luckily we have a Nagaraja and a Rossellini with us. So as Tullio and Imogen sort of look at the fence and look at towards the entrance, try and figure out, well, there must be the entrance is right there. It must be some way through this fence, but you don't see anything. Maria and Adelaide sort of walk around the perimeter and both sort of meet in a central point where you see that there is a sewer grate here.
I guess we gotta go down.
Yeah, it's not dirty. You can tell that it's not covered in any sort of dust from the gravel or anything. It's clearly something that gets used. It's a manhole.
Is there
it's a manhole cover.
Is there anything minted? Like, is there anything like written on the manhole cover itself?
With Sense the Unseen? You don't see anything on the manhole cover, no. So yes, the manhole cover is totally clean, let's say. So it looks like it gets a lot of use. So you can flag your coterie down and do whatever you want with that information.
I think we're gonna need to go down to go in.
I think this is the entrance. Like Maria.
The fucking sewer.
Maria's gonna kneel down and knock on the sewer. On the sewer.
Nobody answers you.
God damn it.
What's the matter, Tullio? Afraid to get a little dirty?
I'm just tired of ruining suits. I'm tired of getting wet. It's all just a bit. I'm fine.
Well, where's a little fun in that? And she's gonna try to. Oh wait, no, I probably shouldn't.
How
with my
much
one button strength?
Adelaide's gonna let Maria think she picked up the grate and just be like,
No, I think this is the correct side.
and just with the 3 dots and strength, pick it up and see if she gets burned.
She does not
Ashes.
get burned.
Yay!
Thank you, Adelaide.
So
I appreciate you.
who descends first?
I don't mind going in first. If anybody else, nobody.
I was gonna say Tullio's being a priss and like fully trying to like save whatever parts of his suit that he can. So
Nobody else? Nobody else? Okay, I'm going in. And she's just gonna fucking like. She's gonna jump in. Just.
You can
Adelaide's
climb
quick
down. I
gesture.
wouldn't suggest jumping in.
Oh, okay. It's that far down. Okay.
Berlin is again, we're in Europe. We have things in Europe called catacombs. Wouldn't suggest jumping in anywhere.
I can't hero land.
Adelaide's gonna gesture for the rest of the coterie.
It's
No.
never a good thing when the Nagaraja comes calling.
I will go next.
And Tullio, are you going to insist on being last, or are you going to let Adelaide be last?
if Adelaide wants to be last, Adelaide can be last. She's gonna catch me muttering the whole fucking time.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I will wait, and then we'll pull the grate back over.
Wonderful.
It's important to close the door. We weren't born in barns.
Yeah, Edgar specifically said we have to be on our best behavior.
Mm-hmm. So, as you all descend into the sewer, you are perhaps expecting it to be dark, but it is not. It is lit by some sort of halogenic lamps or something. And it's quite spacey. It's quite spacious in here for you to walk through. It's made of brick and cobblestone. It looks like a very, very old sewer. Victorian era. Were we in England? And your shoes make clacking sounds. You don't see any running sewage here. It doesn't smell super great, but you see no running water, no running sewage here. You think that this is a canal that is no longer in use, no longer in use for the sewage of Berlin, that the Ashers have utilized now as their entry and exit out of their haven. If you'd like to have any conversation with each other as you walk to whatever destination awaits you, you may.
First off, since Maria was the first one down, immediately activating Sense the Unseen, just checking around the area, making sure we're safe, and there's nothing hidden around here or anything neat.
You don't see anything?
Okay.
Getting the feeling that the Ashers aren't afraid of anything.
I mean, with that reputation, yeah.
So, do they know we're all coming, or?
That's a good question.
I would assume no.
Oh.
Also, Edgar did mention, when I said old, we're talking Northern Crusades old, so yeah.
She's
Be prepared.
Yes.
Anyone have any dots in academics?
Yes. I do.
I do.
I was
don't.
homeschooled.
From the school of the streets. So if you want to make me intelligence and academics, we'll let
all Maria did was verbatim say what Edgar told her.
We'll let Adelaide teach Elsa the School of Hard Knocks later.
2.
2. And how many, Tullio?
3 with a bestial sitting if I fail.
And no, it's not going to be a fail. So the Northern Crusades. You don't know a whole lot about it. It was one of the many, many crusades that were done during the height of Christendom, let's call it, in Europe. This one, not this time to the Holy Land or to the lands in North Africa, but to Scandinavia. Specifically, where it was focused most horrifically was in Finland, specifically by Swedish crusaders who were already converted Christians, many of them because of having settled in Christian lands and then becoming quite zealous in their belief and believing that the rest of the people of Scandinavia needed to be Christianized as well. And this event led to what we would probably consider the end of the pagan Norse religion in Scandinavia. It's about as much as you would know about the Northern Crusades. Pretty basic information. So if she's from that time period, one of two things is possible. Either, and one of them more likely than the other. Either Elsa was a crusader, which seems unlikely. She was a woman. Or she was one of these pagan Finns who were attacked by the crusaders. Judging by her name, that's probably the most likely one. So, as you walk through the sewer and sort of listen to Maria's information about that, eventually you come to the end of it, which is a very, very nice metal door that has runes on it. Not magical runes, but you believe runes of a old Scandinavian language.
With my knowledge of occult, do I have any idea?
This isn't a cult. This is a language. A language people in Iceland can still read.
That's cool.
do we want to knock, or?
I can knock. Do we want to knock? Yeah?
Let's go ahead and knock. Best behavior, everyone.
Knock, knock, knock.
So you knock. It's loud. It reverberates throughout the sewer. It's a very heavy, old metal door. Nobody comes to the door right away, but you eventually hear footsteps. And a young woman opens the door All of you recognize this to be your cousin Freya. She is the child of Elsa Asher. She's wearing a wooden oak mask, so you can only see her bright blue eyes and the blonde hair that spills out of the mask. And she says, Guten Abend.
Guten Abend, cousin.
Good evening, cousin.
Good evening.
Hello, Freya.
Did you have an appointment with my mother?
No,
one
you,
should
no,
let
you, no,
Adelaide
you.
speak.
No, but we come on dire circumstance.
Maria, Tullio, and Imogen, not Adelaide. I need all of you to make a willpower roll, please. Something about being in the presence of the old clan of death, the clan from which your blood springs, gives you certain feelings sometimes.
I'm so sorry. Remind me one more time how to do a willpower roll.
Yeah, that is your unspent willpower, all black dice. So if you have 5 dots in willpower that are unspent, you roll 5 dice.
I need new dice.
Just be like
Never
Az
been
and
more
chuck
happy
them.
that I haven't been using willpower.
1.
2, 3, 4.
6.
Okay. So Maria and Tullio, you don't feel any, well, hang on. Maria, you feel a little bit like maybe, you should be a little bit more on your better behavior, that you should be a little bit less exuberant, a little bit more dumbed down and polite, like almost like you're talking to like, oh my God, like she's kind of like a princess. That's kind of the vibe you get from her. Tullio, you don't feel this. You feel completely in control of your own, self. You don't feel like you need to act on any sort of different behavior. Imogen, however, you keep your head in general, eyes averted from Freya in a show of total deference almost. And that is, as you proceed through this, is how your actions are going to be in the presence of the Cappadocians here.
Okay.
Understood.
Controlled Maria.
Only slightly. Adelaide, I can't give this to. At all. You feel nothing.
I feel nothing as it should be.
Freya says, well, my mother is in. We are all in. Would you like to speak to her?
I absolutely would, if that is agreeable to her.
You'll have to ask her if it's agreeable to her.
Understood.
Oleg is in as well.
My cousin Oleg, yes. Her brother Nicola is in as well. And she just turns around and leaves the door open for you to follow her. As you follow her, Elsa is wearing a bright blue dress, and it's got some shimmer to it. And inside here looks completely different than the horrific looking outside, as this place looks like almost like a museum. It is mostly marble and stone. A lot of items in vitrina all over the place, or vitrines, I'm not sure how you say it in English. Showcases. Looks like trophies of some kind. You don't recognize a lot of it, but you can tell just from cursory glance, it's all very old things. Things that looks like maybe Elsa or Nicola or any of them have collected over the years and now show on display here. And Elsa leads you through this very lavish, almost palace-like mausoleum until you get to the main room. There is a fire going in here. You do not need to make a frenzy check. It is far enough away from all of you where it should not cause an issue. And there is seems to be some sort of piping that leads it back out into the sewers that you were just in. That's where the smoke is going. And seated on a throne is Elsa Asher. She is wearing what looks like a flexible golden mask of the face of, you are assuming, Seneca Giovanni, and you don't have to assume too long, because to her right, in a display case, in a cylindrical display case, kind of like something out of Futurama, is the head of Seneca Giovanni, just in there. You're not sure how he was a kindred. You're not sure how it hasn't dissolved away over these years. She beheaded him 30-ish years ago, but it's sitting there completely fine, intact. And she's seated on this throne. She's wearing a similar dress to her daughter Freya, who joins her mother and sits at her feet on these stairs that lead up to this throne. And surrounding her are Nicola, Oleg, and Raymond. Nicola being her brother, and Oleg and Raymond being her brother's childer. They're all dressed in navy blue suits, and all three of them have swords around their belts. All of them are wearing masks. Elsa with a death mask of Seneca Giovanni. Nicola with an obsidian mask and creamy, milky white eyes. Oleg is wearing a mask made out of bone. Raymond is wearing a plain white porcelain mask. And as I said, Freya is wearing a mask made of wood. And that is the scene you see as you approach the Ashers.
Maria is going to offer
Go ahead,
a
Maria.
curtsy
Mhm.
as they approach.
Imogen will bow.
Tullio will bow low.
Realizing that this might be a normal circumstance for everyone else, try and follow along with some sort of deference that she doesn't feel.
And Elsa, with her long blonde hair, and again, same blue eyes, just like Freya's, looking at you through this mask of this man, even has the beard indent from where the beard and mustache were. She says, "Welcome to my home. Can I help you?"
Forgive the intrusion. We would have loved to announce ourselves, but it simply isn't safe to do so over our current means.
Yes, we usually wait for family dinners.
We've come on grievous note.
That is a large word.
Fitting for the situation. Just couldn't wait for the family dinner. We have a few questions, and we have I hate to use this word, a favor to request of you.
You hate to say favor.
Because it
Curious.
is between family.
What is your favor?
I wish to know your thoughts on a united Hecata.
She says something to her brother in a language you don't know. And Finnish language, even people who speak Swedish or Norwegian don't understand the Finnish language. And then she turns back to you. I'm sorry, were we thrust back into the past? We already came together as a united clan.
We need to be more so. We are... Allow me to elaborate. There's been an attack. Some of our own have been implicated to be following the attacker. The Camarilla is making its moves. We wish to see where the bloodlines and where our family members sit.
Okay. Are you asking me a direct question, Tullio Giovanni?
I am. Can you account for all of your family members
We are all
and their
here.
allegiances?
and their allegiances. Our allegiance is to death, and therefore the clan of death. Are you implying something, Tullio Giovanni?
Never. I'm simply inquiring. One of our own, Ambrose. Do you know him?
You'd have to give me a bloodline name.
Milliner.
Thank you.
The Milliners and the Putanesca are working with the Sabbat.
I always said that the Giovanni brought in far too many bloodlines to ever keep under control.
That's what we're attempting to do here now. Rely on the heads of the bloodlines to maintain control.
Cooperation.
I hardly think that you need to look to the blood from which you spring as an issue. It was our choice to open negotiations to end the bloodshed. We could have kept going and eliminated you wholesale, but we didn't. Why on earth would we join the Sabbat?
There's been no accusation made against you. We're only asking that we stand together as united Hecata. You say that you're confused, that you don't understand asking if we've been thrust back into the past, but the fact is one of our own has betrayed us into the Sabbat.
And why
This
are
is
you here
all-
seeing me and not seeing Olivia?
A great many deal of reasons. Primary being that your blood, we sprang from you. It's not beneath me to recognize where I sit on this ladder. Nor is it beneath me to recognize where Olivia sits on this ladder.
Olivia made her claim, and we backed her.
I understand that.
From where we sit, she sits at the top because we allowed it so.
These are all things we understand. We're asking for your support. Against the Sabbat. Against what they bring.
Perhaps it is a language barrier that I am struggling with. We were never in support of the Sabbat. Always in support of the family. If the family decides that the milliner should be put to the sword, then that is the action we will take.
That's all we needed.
You came all this way just for that.
It's important in these times to show reverence. Would you rather me have texted you?
I don't know what that means.
Sent a letter.
Electronic letter.
I don't have a mailbox.
Which is why we came to see you. I did have questions for you as well.
Likewise.
And it also comes with warning is not the right word given the context of that word. Based on the actions of Ambrose Milliner and Maurizio Putanesca, the Inquisition are a larger issue again. Given the breach that happened earlier, I'm not sure if you're aware.
I am.
Good.
But I perhaps have less fear of the Inquisition. I fought them before.
You have.
Yes.
in recent times, they seem to have gotten more technologically advanced.
That is probably true. If your question is, will the Ashers support eliminating wayward members of the Hecata who bring ruin upon all of us, then of course the answer is yes.
Any Hecata who would bring us ruin.
Yes.
Good to know. Maria, you had a question?
I did. And it's not only one of my own, but I am speaking for one of us who could not be present here for this conversation, Edgar Waite of the Duncerns.
Olivia's child.
Yes. What do you know of the Shadowbane?
Elsa grows quiet. She looks at Nicola, again says something in Finnish. Oleg and Raymond and Freya also respond in kind. Where did you hear that name?
It has been thrown around quite a bit here and there as of
Has
late.
it resurfaced?
We believe so, yes.
Where?
Have you come across a relic like this before?
Yes. Where is it?
We don't know where it is, right? We do not know, but we do know that Lucius Giovanni is seeking it.
I don't know this name.
My sire.
I was told that your sire was unknown.
A lie we were all given.
It was Oleg and who was at the
Nicola.
Nicola?
Nicola is the one with the black mask who shares his body with a ghost.
Yes. Your other members of your family got to see Lucius at the gathering with the Lamia.
And she talks to them, and Nicola responds. Again, he speaks in a strange octave, almost with two sets of vocal cords, and he says, I spoke to no one named Lucius Giovanni. I spoke to a Calixtus Giovanni.
Does that name ring any bells?
You did see Lucius talking to someone in a mask, someone you didn't recognize.
Well, regardless, it's a threat that we face right now.
The Shadowbane is a threat, yes. You don't know where it is?
We do not know where it is, no. Do you know what he requires to use it? What components might be necessary?
That I do not know, no. But I know what it does.
What can you tell us about it?
One of my clanmates... Well, I am not so old that I know the entire history of the Shadowbane. But one of my clanmates, Japheth Cappadocius, had it in his possession. He was trying to keep it from Augustus Giovanni during the, and she looks at you, Tullio, specifically, during the downfall, or the attempted downfall of my clan. He retrieved it from the Shadowlands in order to keep Augustus from getting it. What happened to it after that, I don't know. This was 600 years ago.
Understood. The only other thing that I have to offer from Edgar is a promise from him that for whatever aid that you do give us with the Shadowbane, that the bankers of Duncern will support and rally behind you.
Well, I am already wary now of the bankers of Duncern if they are lying to me and telling me that the Giovanni that appeared in the city does indeed have a sire when I was told that they did not.
And come in the spirit of honesty. These things were not known to me. These things were not known to many of us. We have reason to believe that Olivia's lying fully to the family. We don't wish to see us divided or fractured any further. Please.
In the spirit of honesty, Lucius Giovanni is my sire as well.
I see. Well, I feel it incumbent upon me to tell you that you are looking in all of the wrong directions. For there is nothing more to fear in this city if what you are telling me is true than the Shadowbane.
What does it do? I know that Lucius wanted to find it to bring about the Shadowlands.
That is what it does. It opens the divide and pulls the city into it.
Has anyone ever successfully used it?
Yes. But not on a city this large.
What city was it used in? Not that it exists anymore. If it says, devastating, as you say.
My sire used it on... excuse me, not my sire. My clan founder used it on some insignificant village. I don't know where. I heard the story from my sire.
Do you know of any ways to destroy the Shadowbane?
I do not. But at the very least, it needs to be kept out of the hands of a Giovanni.
And it wasn't the Giovanni who used it before.
Cappadocius's goal was very unattainable and flighty. And he suffered from his hubris.
Did it kill him, using it?
No. But his desire to use it for his own goals is what brought about the Giovanni into our bloodline. Which led to the downfall of most of us. But now the score is settled, and we are supposed to be a united clan. And united we must be against the Shadowbane.
And united we are.
Agreed.
Absolutely.
You have my full support in whatever it is that you require of me. As long as your goal is to retrieve the Shadowbane and allow me or my brother to return it to where it belongs.
If we find a way to destroy it.
I do not believe it can be. Unfortunately, when you are as old as I, you learn that nothing can be created or destroyed, merely transformed.
remade, purified.
Perhaps. But purity is not a specialty of mine. But I could travel to the Shadowlands and return it, throw it into the Tempest.
And for this, we would have your support.
To remove such a dangerous relic from the city, I would slaughter you all before I would allow it to be used.
And it seems we're on the same page.
This Lucius Giovanni who wants to use it, where is he?
I don't know.
Is he coming to the family dinner?
Considering he showed himself at the Lamia's party, it is very possible.
It is entirely likely that he shows himself, yes.
Okay. So, who's she gonna use it on? Composure and subterfuge.
What? That's terrifying.
Lamia. She knows that Imogen's a Lamia. Composure and subterfuge. Imogen.
Oh my god. I'm gonna fucking blood buff. Or
Oh, yeah. She
surge.
has 10 dice for this roll.
It's not gonna matter anyway.
So she's distracted right now,
8.
is what I'm hearing. Can I use Fatal Flaw?
She is distracted, but you are surrounded. But her family is surrounding her. All of them with high levels of auspex.
Okay.
You may do it if you want to.
They all
Is
have
Fatal Flaw
swords.
seeable?
That's a great question. Let's just
Yeah.
salt the bones.
How does it work?
Is it
And they see you
seeable?
do it.
Is it seeable? No. But if you fail against her check, she will know.
Exactly.
That's terrifying.
You
I believe in both of you.
shouldn't.
Yeah.
I'm glad you didn't choose me because
We
my
don't
composure
know.
is 2 dots and I have 0 in subterfuge.
Huddy could
Same.
roll
That's
really
exactly
shitty.
what mine is.
Oh no.
We don't know, guys. It's fine. Huddy's gonna roll like shit. It's gonna be fine. You can see it in her face. She rolled like shit.
How many successes? How many successes, Imogen?
2.
6. So
Okay.
she stares at you pretty intensely, and you see her eyes sort of flash, roll around behind her mask. It's like she's trying to get an image of this Lucius Giovanni person out of your mind and into hers so she can see it. And she explores some of your memories. She sees the Bahari party that you were mentioning, the ceremony. She watches what happened to Carla behind those eyes, and you're seeing it too. You're experiencing these memories as she locks eyes with you, and she's seeing through your eyes what you saw, hearing what you said to Lucius. She goes farther back, sees what he did, sees what you did to Ariana. And then she closes her eyes, and you feel all your memories cease suddenly. And she doesn't say anything. What did you roll, Adelaide? And what? Are you using mental or physical?
Oh, no, they have swords. We decided against it.
Are you sure?
I see the clocks ticking.
Oh,
the clock.
God.
I mean, yeah, they have swords. It's
They have
scary.
swords,
They have swords.
and we are outnumbered.
Yeah.
No, you're outnumbered by 1. They just only have 1 more
We're
than
evenly
you.
matched is what I'm hearing.
Oh my
Evenly
god.
matched. How old is Ilse?
She was born in 1134.
She
Right.
ain't shit.
Oh my god.
Change shit? Okay, and if it's
Weren't
a
we
blood,
talking about?
blood
Weren't we,
buff?
talk,
Blood buff? Oh, okay.
were we talking about how powerful our Transylvania Beckons characters would be by the time we got to
Boy,
this?
yeah.
Dead.
Weird, huh?
I just want to know more about her.
Fatal flaw. What is its composure and what? What am I rolling? Composure and what?
Composure and subterfuge.
Subterfuge, thank you. Does she have dots in subterfuge? She has 4 dots in subterfuge.
Intelligence and auspex.
Gotta hex Huddy's
With a
dice for a quick
blood
second.
buff.
And if I make a blood buff roll for her, she gets 5 dice extra to this roll.
Do the finger wiggles work against against dice?
Avery has to do it. It's important.
Yeah.
Please, let me hear strength.
5, and then 8 more.
Channel Avery from the plane.
5,
Manifest them.
4,
Travel would be so much.
We gotta do the praise of sun
4.
sign.
I'm so nervous. to
almost can't
actually
fit them
roll.
all in my
I'm
hand.
so nervous. I'm so
Buddy!
nervous.
So
Everything's
you're gonna say
fine.
things like that.
Andrew,
All right.
Avery's gonna come back to a TP.
I rolled a double crit,
Oh my god.
I got 6 successes.
so I got 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 successes.
Yeah,
Rip.
I got 6.
I got 12, and I can spend willpower and roll more. I had a total of 13 dice for this roll.
Yeah, I did not have 13 dice.
This is okay. Everything's fine.
So
Nothing bad's gonna happen.
you attempt to use Fatal Flaw in order to find the weakest point of Ilsa's mental acumen, which, even had you been successful, she has 5 dots in intelligence, 4 dots in wits, and 4 dots in resolve. So either way, you would have learned that she was tough mentally. Can't possibly grasp how, being and again, you can't see her face, but Elsa looks young as far as you can tell. She doesn't look really any older than Freya. They look almost like they might be twins, even though they're not. Elsa was an 18-year-old girl during these crusades. If there's something that you want to know, Adelaide, you must simply only ask.
Oh, that does make it easier. Do you remember Isabella Giovanni?
No. I arrived in Berlin in the early 2000s to behead Seneca Giovanni. I made my way across Europe, a lot of them in Italy. My most kills.
I see.
Why did you feel the need to use an ability against me instead of just asking?
It seems many people's minds have been tampered with.
Yes. A favorite among the Giovanni. Which is why I looked at your memories, Imogen.
Tears are welling in her corners of her eyes. She's looking down.
I believe that you should talk to your mother, Imogen.
Yes.
For my abilities allow me not just to see what you see, but if I really concentrate, I can see beyond, into the people in your memories. Lucius and your mother had a private conversation. She knows much more than she says. And if we are truly to unite the family against the Shadowbane, I am, and my family are more than willing for heads to roll for anyone who steps out of line. That is the promise I make to you, Mr. Giovanni.
Promise I value greatly. I wish to, if no one else has anything else regarding our most imminent threat.
Nothing from me, other than thank you for seeing us and answering the questions.
Allow me to perhaps help you. If you have an ability to get in touch with your cousin, your banker of Dunsern, you might want to give him a warning When he leaves the castle, be on high alert.
I will make sure that he knows.
I will see you all at the family dinner.
As I said, on a personal note, I believe Olivia's been lying to this family. It's greatly harmed us. It's formed fractures. We are united yet not, and it is unacceptable to me. This family dinner, I intend to claim. I intend to claim the head of the table. Not just for myself and for the Giovanni, but to lead the Hecata. Alongside Imogen.
If I may give you a piece of advice, young one. There is not a single member of the heads of the family, myself included, who would support someone so wet behind the ears to run the clan. Perhaps, if you united us against something so devastating as the Shadowbane, that opinion might change.
And that is what I'll do.
For unfortunately, should Olivia be dispatched, she just had the tenacity to take it up. I'm afraid many would look to me as the eldest. And frankly, I would not want it, but I would take it for order.
Olivia cannot be allowed to remain. If they look to you, we'll be in better hands.
I was never meant to be a leader. Perhaps you are. But you need to be tested in battle first. Whether battle of the mind or battle on the field.
I look forward to proving my worth to you.
If only it were just me you needed to prove it to, Mr. Giovanni.
Tullio will bow.
She looks at the rest of you.
Imogen's
Real
had a
artsy.
1,000-yard stare, but seeing everyone paying deference, she'll bow.
I did have one more question before we go. Just based on what we've talked about with the Shadowbane. Does it have to be the Hecata who use it, or could anyone?
You'll come to learn, Adelaide, that the forces of this world do not solely belong to any of us. And by us, I mean the Kindred.
Thank you. I was just curious. The information I've been getting about the Shadowbane has been from another Kindred, so...
You should never only get it from one source.
No, multiple sources are needed. It's important to cite things from
Unfortunately,
experience.
not all of us have the luxury of having other, let's call them supernaturals, to talk to.
Adelaide's going to just slightly incline her head.
And do you all abscond? No one follows behind you to close the door behind you. They assume you will do it, or not. And you all retreat back into the sewers. Now you have to make your way back up. And again, it's not dirty. You don't have to worry about your suit. It doesn't smell good. You don't have to worry about your suit getting dirty. And Elsa suggested that you talk to Honori. And you already know that Honori must know more. But now you know that she's spoken to Lucius at the Bahari ceremony.
Yeah.
If there's anything you'd like to discuss as you leave the sewer and head back to Tullio's car, now is the time to do it.
I should go
Copy.
home.
There are questions that need answered there. Are you okay, Imogen?
No. Are you ready to have this conversation, or do you need a minute?
It needs to happen.
I'm wondering, Imogen, Tullio, do either of you know how old Lucius is?
No.
No.
Okay. As always, as before, I'll keep the pictures at hand in my jacket. But I'll leave whether or not we bring them out to Honolore at all to both of you.
I think we need to talk to those werewolves about
Agreed.
the shadow paint. We're trying to purify it, like Elsa said. Once Aelin becomes what she was supposed to be, it might be an option. Otherwise, there will be bloodshed and you might be part of that. I don't know. Not you, Maria. You're not safe, but you're not Giovanni.
Minerva did mention
Not directly.
that Maria's
Well-
grandfather was a Giovanni.
Maybe not by bloodline, but definitely by blood.
Maybe it doesn't need to be vitae. Maybe it just needs to be the blood. Blood calling to blood. Everything has to have a balance, the witch said. Maybe that's what it is. To open the door, the death, you have to cause a doorway with death.
It would make the most sense considering everything. Storyteller, where's Peacock Island from where we currently are? Like how far away is
Far.
it? Far away? Okay.
You're
geography.
driving. It's fine. You're driving from Wedding to. You can actually see it in the locations in the Discord. In the little thing I got for you, in the Berlin Neighborhood Guide, you're driving from Wedding, so you're driving from the northwest, and you're driving to Steglitz-Zehlendorf. So you're going to be driving pretty close to Peacock Island as you drive there. You have to drive through Charlottenburg to the south, and then past Charlottenburg to the south is Steglitz-Zehlendorf, which is where Hannelore lives. It's where Olivia lives. Edgar and Adelaide lives in Charlottenburg.
The only reason I ask is because while we're driving, I want Maria to look to the sky with where the veil fins.
Mhm.
Just trying to see what she can.
You need to make a roll for that. I need a rouse check for that, and I need an intelligence and oblivion roll. Okay, so I need at least 3 successes for you to determine
1, 2,
anything.
3, 4, 5, 6, 7 successes on a crit.
On a critical win, this roll reveals whether the veil density recently changed. On a total failure, the power backfires and gives a false reading. Okay, so as you drive by Peacock Island, there is no change in density of the veil.
Okay.
And in fact, the veil does not exist around Peacock Island, which is strange.
Well, that thing hasn't changed at least. She's going to say as we pass it and point to the sky. Veil's still non-existent.
That is, of all the things you've ever experienced in your work with wraiths, there's a veil everywhere. The veil fluctuates. Where places of mass amounts of death have happened, the veil is usually very thin, and you don't need to even activate that power to detect it. But the veil is basically everywhere because humans die everywhere. However, at Peacock Island, there is no veil at all. It does not exist.
That's so terrifying.
You can't see through a closed door. And that's somehow worse. You're right.
Yeah.
So, all of you arrive at Hannelore Lamia's 15th century manor home here in Steglitz, Zeelandorf. And it looks exactly as you remember it looking from the Bahari party. The lights are on the inside. All of the brocade curtains have been taken down. It looks exactly the way it looks most nights, Imogen. It looks exactly like it did the night you came and picked Imogen up for a date, Tullio. And you may proceed as you like.
Imogen gets out of the car and just stares at the home for a moment.
How do you want to approach this?
I'll ask her.
Would you like to hold the pictures?
No, that's okay.
Squeeze Imogen's hand. No matter what you decide, no matter what happens, you're going to be fine.
We got your back.
She'll squeeze Tullio's hand back and start walking.
Mm-hmm. So you enter into the home. Do you knock on the door, or do you just go in?
I'll just go in with
Okay.
my key.
You unlock it, and you don't hear anything strange, see anything strange. It's the normal foyer, as it always is. It has the large tapestry of the naked, bleeding Lilith, right, draped across the stairwell.
Mother? Kind of start looking around, like look in the garden and...
Does everyone follow Imogen as she heads towards the garden?
Gonna stay at her back.
So
Yeah,
you...
Adelaide.
Mhm.
Adelaide's looking around, seeing if like there's any extra cars here, or like if Hannelore has company or anything, or just
Doesn't look like
what
it,
we
no.
saw. Okay.
So you head into the garden. Of course, all of you get the memories, the flashbacks of being here at the Bahari ceremony, at the party in the main room, which you have to walk through to get to the solarium. And of course, where Carla met final death. And as you enter into the solarium, you do see Hannelore in here. She has two of your sisters with her. And you see that the ceremonial slab that where Carla met final death has been turned into a shrine of hers. There's no picture of Carla, as it would be rather dangerous to have pictures of Kindred lying around, but it seems all of her personal effects are laid here. There's lots of incense burning, and there's things draped around it, and it seems like your sisters and your mother have made a sort of shrine to Carla here on the slab.
Imogen would actually absentmindedly walk up to the shrine.
And Hannelore looks extremely surprised to see you. Imogen, have you come home?
Yes. What is this?
It is a memoriam to your sister for her sacrifice.
Yes, I'm home.
You've brought
now.
guests. Guten Abend.
Hello, Auntie.
Hello.
That full-on awkward like uptick of the lip, just the
Tullio.
Mother, I needed to talk to you. Rather, we all did.
The two sisters who are with her are Matilda and your sister Tegan. They are standing here, and they just sort of take a couple of paces back. You may talk freely, my child, always.
She'll look towards Matilda and Tegan and nod at them and say, I'm not sure anyone else should be here.
I hide nothing from your sisters, Imogen. And if this is the coterie that you have decided to remain with, I hide nothing from them either.
Hey, insight check.
Thank you.
Certainly.
Were we on the same mind there, Gilbert?
Waiting for a moment to be respectful. But
Yeah,
I
no,
apologize.
especially since Matilda is here, full on fucking milliner. I don't care if she
She's
joins
a
the
Lamia.
cult.
She's been a Lamia since before Hamish was
Good.
was a teenager. As soon as she squeezed Hamish and Sienna out, she was embraced.
4 successes.
I know, but sometimes when you make bad decisions, you're like, hey, we have a relationship since you're, my mom. You want to help me?
I think you
join
guys
the
are really,
Sabbat?
really untrusting.
Unfortunately.
I think you guys are
Given
really,
the
really untrusting,
situation-
even though I don't think I've given any indication of it.
No.
Given the situation, I think it makes sense.
What did you roll,
I'm just-
Maria?
4 successes.
Mhm.
Adelaide was raised by Alexander, and she kept half of the advice he gave her.
Mhm.
Half of it. 1, 2. I got 5 successes.
Tullio?
8 successes. And I always ask this question because for some reason it pops up a lot. So I have a crit, but I also have a single crit on the blood die. I don't know. There's 3. I don't know which takes precedence: a messy crit or a normal crit.
I let the player decide.
Maybe we
I would
don't.
love for the normal crit.
Sure. I let the player decide.
Wait,
I don't want a little bit of consequence to that.
All of you can tell that although Honolori is attempting to be reassuring to Imogen, there are things that she hasn't told her. You don't think that she has any hindrance here of talking in front of Matilda or Tegan or you, but there are things that she has not told Imogen.
And then
So you don't
hearing that and why? What did you have to say to Lucius Giovanni?
Oh, my child. Did he tell you about that?
It's not important how I found out.
She looks at Matilda and Tegan, and they don't seem fazed by this information. Lucius is my son.
What? Why didn't you tell me?
I should have. Hearing his name again after over 100 years removed from him, I was in denial, and perhaps I didn't want to believe it was really my boy who would have put you through such terrible things.
When were you going to tell me?
I wasn't going to tell you. That's the truth, Imogen. I didn't want you to know. I'm sorry. But perhaps you should know, and I never stopped loving him, even when they took him away from me. I love him still to this night. Yes, a mother's love. You cannot help it.
But wait. He can't have it, though. The Shadowbane, he can't.
Of that, I am in agreement. I told him that no matter what I must do, and no matter what he does, I will always love him. Even if I must take his life.
Not to break this, but insight check.
Mm-hmm. No lies to be detected here.
Imogen keeps pausing to process everything, and then she'll look to her sisters and say, "Did you know?"
Matilda says, Matilda, sorry. That Lucius was Hannelori's son. Yes. But I did never heard it from Mother. I knew from someone else.
Can you, Mother, explain something to me?
If I can, Imogen, yes?
Maria, with pictures.
Maria will pull out. Do you want both or just
Both.
She'll pull out both pictures and hand them to Imogen.
Hannelore sees the pictures and her face sort of shifts from smiling to sadness to a neutral state again. Where did you find these pictures?
Maria found them at Seneca Giovanni's mansion.
Of course. My father would keep these pictures.
Yeah.
Yes. Seneca Giovanni was my father. A wicked man who deserves the end that he got. To be perfectly honest, Imogen, it was my greatest wish and hope that when the purge began, that all the Giovanni would be eliminated, even my boy. For everything that they did to us. Matilda knows that Lucius is my son, because Valentino is the father of her children. Maureen, Hamish, and Sienna. Valentino is Tegan's father.
And
Hannelore sort of looks at you, Maria, as you say that. Valentino, or Osric, is a good man, but a weak man. What it means to be a child of the Giovanni, a true child of the Giovanni, born and raised and ghouled. I could not put it into words if I had another 100 years to explain it to you. What it does. What Lucius did to you and Tullio was horrible, but for me and Valentino and Isabella and Francesca, that was just an average night.
you could have told me.
Yes, I could have. You are correct. But I too am damaged. Meine Schatze.
Imogen starts to cry. If anyone else has anything they'd like to ask.
Honori, as
Okay,
soon as you start to cry, will immediately come over to hug you.
Imogen will do the thing where she doesn't hug back.
I gotta ask, with
Doesn't
all this
stop Honori.
with all this talk of sacrifice, with all this talk of killing who, killing what, for whatever reason, what? I have to ask. Carla, whose idea was that?
Honori, still holding Imogen, looks over to the slab and touches it gently. It was supposed to be me. It was supposed to be me. But Carla received a prophecy, a premonition from the Dark Mother that she wanted to be the one. And I tried for so many nights to convince her not to. How could I lose my precious first daughter? And there was nothing I could do. I could not persuade her otherwise.
I hate to do this in such a tender moment, but insight check.
Go for it.
Yeah, Imogen's just losing it.
Mm-hmm.
Completely. Again.
Mm-hmm. She hasn't stopped holding you.
6 successes, 1 on a crit.
She doesn't seem to be lying.
Okay.
It was her choice.
I could not deny her, for she said she received revelation from the Dark Mother, and how could I deny that? For I received revelation from Lilith as well, when you and Tullio were just children. To attempt to save you from the purge, and perhaps my mistake was attempting to interfere with it. I saw you, and she'll touch you, and you share the senses, and she'll reach out to you, Tullio, take your hand, and she'll show you both the prophecy, the premonition that she received of the two of you, small children, slaughtered in your bed. And then she lets go of you. And I interfered. The Dark Mother showed me that vision to show me what I truly wanted. The end of the Giovanni line. But I could not. And so I and Valentino, we attempted to save you. I did not know that Lucius would come looking for you after.
You did it to protect those you love.
You are not just the child of my son. You are my mortal family as well. Seneca is your great-great-grandfather, and I am his daughter. I am your aunt. We too are related, Maria. Your grandfather, Dom, is a child that Valentino had with Irma Giovanni, my sister. Irma, for whom your little sister is named for, Tullio. Like I said, he's a weak man.
Imogen will attempt to compose herself. We also... There are many threats on all fronts. The Shadowbane Sahira, the Sabbat, the Inquisition. We need to be united as a family. And that means you can't lie to me.
You are right. Although my lies were out of a place of love and protection, you are capable, strong, and I should not have lied.
Imogen will slowly bring her arms up and hug her back.
Whatever it is that you need from me, my child, I am always here. We need not have a history lesson, but I did everything that I could to save my family, and believe it or not, so did Valentino. Did everything that he could to save us from the purge. It is why we hid in other bloodlines. But Olivia betrayed us all. And for his weakness, we all have suffered greatly, for he could not bring himself to eliminate her from our lives.
And so it falls to us.
I believe it falls to all of us, but it is perhaps best a new clan of Hecata that the young paves the way. For we are all old and set in our ways and covered in the traumas of the past. But you can see a future that we cannot see.
We intend... Well, she'll look back at Tullio. We intend to lay claim to the head of the table.
To the clan as a whole.
I
am afraid that not so many of the heads of the bloodlines are as enlightened as I. But I would support a claim such as this.
We start with the Giovanni.
I think that is a good place to start. Perhaps, Tullio, you could show us that you can change. That you are not defined by your blood.
Imogen sneaks a glance backwards at him.
Tullio doesn't reply.
She looks disappointedly at you, Tullio, and she reaches for a dagger that is on the slab, and she hands it to you, Imogen. This was it's a short sword. This was your sister's preferred weapon. It is soaked with the blood of many that she has killed. We call it the Gorgon Scale. Kala always said that if you wield it against a member of the Hecata, that it will inflict more painful than the bite.
I can't accept this.
Yes, you can. She bequeathed it to you, as she did many of her effects to all of her sisters. But you left before I could tell you that.
I needed time.
I understand.
I think that Imogen would turn towards the slab and put her fingertips on it from her free hand and just fall silent.
Is there anything else that I can do for you?
We need a united Hecata.
Is that a question or a statement?
Can we count on your support?
Whatever Imogen decides that she wants to do with her own life, she has my unwavering support.
Perfect.
My only fear is that Lucius sent Imogen to me. And I don't know what that means.
I intend to find out.
I suggest, Tullio, that you take some time to look into yourself. Decide whether it is you that wants this, or merely the echoes of the eons of your blood.
I've looked inward. I know what I want. I'm well aware of it.
I am unconvinced, and I am quite easily convinced. You will have no luck with the other bloodlines. I can guarantee you that. For they all have their own stories of their dealings with the Giovanni.
No. There's your support, and then there's the support of the Rossellini. That's a start.
I think it's important that we stop thinking of each of us as individual bloodlines if we're going to make this united Hecata thing work.
That is
We're
a
not
fair
here
enough
about-
point, Adelaide. And if there is a
right.
single head of the bloodlines that will be impossible to negotiate with, it is your father. For all of us hold a stake in the future of the clan, and when we have the family dinners, I know you are not part of when we gather during the family dinner, when we close our doors and have our discussions. But Alexander is almost impossible to deal with. And he holds as much stake as the rest of us, although he and you are the only two in this city. Although I have 11 childer, and he has 1, he has as much stake as me in terms of decision-making.
He will need to be talked to as well.
Imogen, I am
Yes.
sorry that you have been through so much, and that I have also caused you pain. You are always welcome. This is your home, for now and forever. The Dark Mother loves you, and I love you, and so do your sisters. In your darkest moments, remember that.
She doesn't say anything, she just nods.
Tegan steps forward and says, is Edgar not here?
Edgar is out of the city at this moment.
Oh, that's very dangerous.
It is.
I wanted to speak with him. I wanted to ask him if it was possible for us to come together as the Dunson bloodline. I am a Lamia now, but for a very complicated reason, I did not choose it. It was to protect me from Olivia. She killed my mother.
Who is your mother?
Isabella, her sister.
Olivia told you she died.
My father told me that she died. He
God damn it, Elsa.
came home and she was holding me covered in my mother's blood. But obviously I was a baby, I was not there. And I would like to get rid of Olivia. I no longer want her here in Berlin, in the family. I think she should be punished for such a thing. And I was embraced by my father as a Dunson, and I believe I should be part of the Dunson bloodline now with Edgar.
Who embraced you?
My father. Osric.
Who is?
Well, unfortunately, this is where the conversation has to end, because one of our players needs to leave. And Imogen, I need to know if you're staying here in the manor or if you're going home with Tullio.
I will stay here for the night.
All right. So, Honori, as it is getting quite late, you've spent a lot of time moving around the city, and it takes time. And so things of like looking for Alexander and other things of that nature, and maybe waiting for Edgar to get back to share all of these things with her, because all of you just found out that Edgar's mother, Maureen, was fathered by Osric Dunser, and all of you just found that out tonight. So, technically that makes Osric his grandfather. Which you don't think, and technically Osric was born a Giovanni, Valentino Giovanni, so that makes Edgar part Giovanni, and you don't think Edgar knows this, and you don't think Edgar's probably maybe not going to react too well to this. So, as all of you abscond, with all of this information rattling around in your brains, feeling maybe more, both closer and more disconnected than ever from everything that you thought was true, that is where we are going to end. Episode 6, Verschlimmbessern, for this evening. Thank you, everyone.